Good afternoon, everyone. It's 12 o'clock, so it's nearly still morning. Anyway, so let me just find this. Well, so I'll put it just here for a moment. Oh, look, even the shot doesn't stay sticky. Wait. So, so the first section, not mind this one because this is thinking. So right now we are passing response about the backend, front end. Then the second one would be the backend. So we asked it, this agent, which I just built, if he can actually build for me a TikTok. Now he asked me what front end I would like. I choose the Expo. Now he's thinking about the back end. Now he's giving me the back end options. Like he's saying I can use. So if I click the front end here, I selected the front end. Now ask me here about the back end. As you can see, I have selected the front end is already selected. Now we are at selected back end and it's asking me to click a button so I can select the back end. So the front end, I put it like React Expo. Now I would be doing a back end, most likely Go or Python, or perhaps more likely Node.js, just to keep it on Java, Vanilla, and TypeScript. Now he's gonna analyze again, and then he's gonna give me the futures, what this project futures are. Now the model is a thinker, so it does take a while to think. Okay, I need to reconstruct. There is a mistake here. Notice it. Put it down as so. Let me restructure the JSON because it seems like the JSON has an issue of structure. Uh, so this is the feedback, and this is how we ask it to put the feedback. This is wrong. So it should be. Let me see. How did we put the buttons or front end? Yeah, inside this area. So what should happen is it should have, instead of putting futures as this, so futures should be like this, and then we want this to be out. So what I'm doing, I'm reconstructing the logic of the POM so it doesn't get confused. Now, because it's always getting confused, so I would say yeah, let me just double check because to me okay, so it is Julia. Again, the same one. Let me say future so I don't confuse it. And over here, future name and future is now if I do it like this, and also in feedback, I need to change this. This section needs to be changed to and keep it for later. At the moment, I'm not focusing on this one. This is feedback in case that AI didn't abstract any data, so it would give me those options instead, like this one over here. Now let me restart again. Should be now fine. We should be getting things separated. The issue that each time that I'm gonna have to run a test, I would need actually to wait for it to think. So this one is the blueprint builder. In other words, let's say you're gonna start a project, but you don't know you wanna have a structure of what you're gonna be building, how it is gonna be built, where our function they're gonna be, what file they're gonna be. So this agent do that actually. You can name any project, he would get all the details. For example, let's say let's switch to something else. But depends on the model that you're using and depending on the resources within the model. Like for example, I'm using one of a bit recent but not too much, so it has more details about, for example, Facebook or TikTok or any new app of today, you wouldn't have much details. If you want to know what kind of models you can use for coding, I'll list you all the models. Don't use the clouds because they need more. They ask for subscription. That's it. Try to use locals. Have a good computer, good GPU, and you can run as many models as you want. You may not need all of them. Some of them are actually related to different projects. Some of them are related to code structures. Some of them related to translation. So depends on your use, what you're using the model in. Some texture, some reading. As for now, I'm using Qwen 3, 14 billion. It's 9 GB model. GTP Cloud Sensor is also good, but it takes time to load. Gemini also, it's nice, but not as much. There is actually Python's models that are actually just for Python coding. I think one of them is, let me see. This one is 8 billion model. One of them was 5. Let me double check. I think this one is the Python model, and also this one Coder 7 billion and Open Tinker. So we get the first. You will need to wait until it finishes thinking. Because based on the finished generated thoughts, it would go. The way it's been built, it's like, okay, this is the front end, I need the back end. Usually I shouldn't wait until like I click and select and then send the back end. But like I was like in the beginning just trying to make it fit. So after this one I would change that and make sure that the request doesn't get sent after popping the buttons, but after clicking the buttons. Now if I click React Native, I get the backend, which I can select also new JS Explorer. Now both are there. Now it's gonna think and give me the packages. Still gonna add one more step. It's evaluating the pages and the routes. And then after that, we got a model blueprint, which we're gonna feed it back to the same AI, but asking it to go through one by one and design the structure in the folders for us. And then we add a second agent for debugging, which will just do actually install and run in debug and see what is the error and send it back the errors to the agent, which will retrace back the routes, will actually filter research and web, see similar code errors, and try to track and find a solution by itself. Like most of the AI models, like I used all of them, nearly most of them actually fail actually in keeping track. It's like roots of conversation never been built properly. Conversation structure or project structure was never implemented and always confused along the chat. So getting a blueprint of whatever you're doing from the beginning, give it a strong, solid, because it would be printed with each request as a reminder. This is what we're doing. This is the following and the request of the user. It's cool. It's an executable, not a web development. This is the cool thing. Try to make much as possible streaming and all the features available. As you can see right now, it's streaming the thoughts. Then it's gonna start streaming actually the response. If you remember earlier, we didn't have Firebase in the options. Now it's actually picking because I removed those train actually that actually keep forcing on those, and I let it pick by itself whatever options it knows. So if you read the instruction, you will actually read instruction to design actually whatever platform you're looking for. So for example here, we'll need to make sure each feature has two packages on the front end and one for the back end. Let me check each feature again. User authentication, front end package, like out 0, that means the authentication, and Firebase. So this is a package and this is a package, and backend Passport.js, that's two each. Now it's designing the response. This is the response actually. If you read over here, whatever it's gonna be in this color, it's actually the response of the thinking, which actually will turn back as a buttons after designing the JSON file. So if you read over here, it actually by itself added user authentication, real-time messaging, Firebase, here name, socket, here new feed, Oxios, Mongoose, here profile management, React Native. If you look at the script entirely, uh, it doesn't have any of those. So this is just a feedback in case there is no AI response, like I said, but it's not given back to the AI, but given back to the user. Now we get the buttons, but we have one small thing. The size, and also it went through authentication notification. So it picked the user. Okay, we shouldn't actually add futures as this. Okay, it's the response issue. So let me see, where did I? So I didn't specify. Let me do as this. Each one would be a button by itself. And let me just repeat it here. Then what I'll do is, let me see the interpreter, JS interpreter. Let me see. So front end, back end, futures. This is where we get the problem. So we specified that the research button front end and back end should be like plugin regex, looking for that precise and then giving it exactly that to match the front end. Now for the back end, we made a mistake. We can do, because over here it's for each map, okay, search and here text, we ignore slash review, okay, text match, okay, type future data future, and then we grouped at one. Okay, I'm just gonna grab a coffee and I'll get back in a few seconds so we can finish fixing this one. It's just the regex. I can remove this one over here, futures, and it's actually gonna pick any buttons. The question is, if I remove this one, it would be non-backend match data, so it would not be passing back to the backend. But I'm gonna have to reconstructure just this one, future match data, and then future itself. Let me see. So I'll get back to you.